Oh, you guys got me all riled up. Worship. I started losing my voice. It's good. I love being on stage. If there was one place I could be, it would be right here. And I get to the point that I miss it so much that when other people are on stage, I want to be on stage. So one of my favorite pastimes is I love going to Broadways. I need it. Like when I go to a Broadway or a Sight and Sound performance out in Lancaster, I'm like there, like a 7-year-old. Like, show me more, tell me more. I need it so bad. People, how many of you have stage fright? How many of you, if I called you up right now, would be like, please do not put me on stage? Okay, I'm the opposite. I get FOMO. People are on stage, I'm like, I'm getting up there. And it's funny because I want the script. I want the wardrobe. I want the costume. I want to be on the stage. And when I get to that point, it's funny because I kind of lose myself to it if I'm not careful. I kind of make it my own, make it mine. And that's not what I want to do this morning. I want to take a chance, if my technology will work. There we go. To help us to see a little better this morning. Help us to realize that the stage isn't what we're aiming for. Maybe this is a lesson to me more than anything else. But I think sometimes when we look at the Bible, we look at it as a story. And we put it as a book, and it's over here, and it never really makes the connection with us. We look at it from a 2,000-year-old lens, from a bird's eye view, and from a historical perspective. And it doesn't touch us. And today I want to jump into Mark 1. And I want this story, I want to step into it with you. I want to be in the story with you. So we're going to turn to Mark 1, verse 40. And this is a familiar story. If we look at Mark 1:40, we see this story of the leper. And we'll read verse 40 here, the first verse. A man with leprosy came to him and begged him on his knees, "If you are willing, you can make me clean." Now, if we're not careful, if we look at the whole story here, there's two people mentioned, Jesus and this leper, this man with leprosy. If we're not careful, we can quickly move to, okay, here's another miracle from Jesus. Oh, he did something miraculous. Awesome. What's the next verses? But I want us to focus in on the man, the leper here, and move right into this is not just another miracle. So what is leprosy? Leprosy was a blanket term for many different skin diseases, and it could be anything from scabs as well as just scaly skin. There's lots of different things it would range to. Now, the rarer forms of it we find are what kind of formed our misconception of it. When I think of leprosy, I think of like ears falling off. I think of the furthest end, and there are forms of it that lead that way. But that's not the full of this. When we see leprosy, it's divided into two major factors. There's a physical element. There's also a spiritual and communal element that goes into it. So as we have these rare forms that can cause incredibly bad things, there's even studies that they've found more recently with people that have untreated cases, they lose pain receptors. So have you ever picked up something that's too hot? What do? You have that initial drop. They found people that had certain skin conditions would reach and grab hot pans and not notice it. But it would still affect them, right? It's not like their hands became immune to the flame or the hot. So there was even cases where people were in third world countries and lesser populated areas where they would be sleeping and rats would gnaw at their fingertips and they'd wake up without a finger or two. How many of you like pain? I mean, I don't particularly like pain, but I need it, right? I'd rather know if a rat's nibbling on my fingers than not know. It's kind of a weird thing that we've been placed in this. They lose a sensitivity to anything. It's not good things or bad things. They just lost sensitivity. But beyond the physical, there was this much more severe loss. A person that was seen as that had leprosy, and a priest would look over them and essentially ostracize them from community. So how many of us know what it's like to not go within 6 feet of people? Yeah, we've been there, right? As a leper, you were not allowed to travel within 6 foot of another person. Pretty hard to have community. You were ostracized outside of everything. If the wind was blowing, you weren't allowed to be within 150 feet of people. Okay, what's 150 feet? Me to the back of the auditorium, roughly? So what if I'm like within 6 feet of Josh here, and then the wind starts blowing, I'm like, am I booking it? What does that look like? It creates this bubble around you, this space, this loneliness. And you know who your friends were? Other lepers. You're like, hey, you got it, I got it, well, let's die together. I mean, it's a little morbid, I'm sorry, but there was two ways that your leprous life ended. You got better by some divine inspiration, by God saying, oh, you're going to be healed, and it's just the course of it runs, or you die. Is this a hope-filled life? Away from your family? Outside of the temple? How do you make sacrifices? How do you come to your God? All right, you guys aren't allowed to come to church anymore. Okay? That's going to really put a damper on our fire, won't it? Do you feel what this leprous man is feeling? Ostracized from community. Can't see his family. Can't be with his God. Now it's not just some miracle anymore, is it? There's a person here. But Jesus steps on the stage. Cue the music. Bum, bum, bum. Like, here we are. Verse 41. And Jesus was indignant. This isn't like the indignant that your kids have when you're like, I can't have sweets before dinner. That's not that indignant. It's like, this isn't right. Jesus looks at it and goes, that's not right. And he reached out his hand and touched the man. I am willing, he said, be clean. Do we catch that? This 6-foot divide, this 150-foot divide, no. Touch. Immediately, the leprosy left him and he was cleansed. Jesus sent him away at once with a strong warning. See that you don't tell anyone. But go, show yourself to the priest, and offer the sacrifices that Moses commanded you for your cleansing, as a testimony to them. And, I like the leprous man in this, because he goes, instead, he went out and began to talk freely, spreading the news. As a result, Jesus could no longer enter a town openly, but stayed outside in lonely places. Yet the people still came to him from everywhere. Jesus kind of flipped the script there, didn't he? You were lonely, now it's time for me to be lonely. I'm going to take that from you. It's mine now. Do you see the heart of our Savior in these actions? Where no one would step forward. This man is going through the trial of his life. His whole life is built on this. Will Jesus do anything? And he moves to his Creator. He steps towards him. And Jesus doesn't step back, he steps forward. And what did Jesus do? He touched him. Which is an absolute no-no if we're talking about leprosy, we're talking about skin diseases. In COVID, people would freak out if you touched them. Freak out. Okay? We all know what it's like to be that 6 foot away. But look at the character of Jesus. He reached out, touched the untouchable. He moved towards the far. He healed the unhealable. He drew close to the unloved. And you see, when we touch the unholy, we become dirty. But when Jesus touches the unholy, he makes it clean. And I think we struggle with that. We don't want to move towards Jesus when we're in the dark. We want to try and tidy ourselves up. I'm getting wild. Let me jump in. Jesus sends him away then. He says, you're clean, go to the priest. Get the priest to give you the okay so you can go back to your life, to your family, to your friends, all those people. Who knows how long he's been like this? Go back. And that man starts kicking it around town, and he is like, this dude, Jesus, he is amazing. He's everything. You remember this arm was like, no, it's good now. Look at it. Look at me. To be fresh and clean. Why would Jesus not want him to say anything? Well, we see later in the verses, we have some logical thoughts here that Jesus couldn't even go into a town then. So this must have been very convincing if all of a sudden it's like, that Jesus guy can heal. Let's bring people in. Let's get crazy. The next verses in Mark are the man being lowered through the roof. When he's crowded in that room. And I think we have experienced this here. That when Jesus stepped into our life, we were something sick and full of sin, and then we were made clean. Was our response the same way as this leprous man? Was our heart to go out and to tell? Why don't we proclaim his name like this, church? Do we not believe what was healed was as dramatic as this? So, as we move forward in this, let's take a step back from our historical context. And let's look at what this section of Scripture, this historical event, is telling us. I think we need to not just look at sin as this physical thing, but as I've kind of alluded to earlier, look at leprosy as sin. When we realize we are full of sin, we are in this place of no hope. I missed one point that I really like about this leprous man. Did you know the leprous people had a certain call sign that they needed to use? So it wasn't like a gang sign or like a how do you do? It wasn't the head nod that all dudes do to each other. When you were a leprous person, you would walk around, and if someone came near you, you would go, unclean, unclean. On top of the physical, the spiritual, your goal was to proclaim your own uncleanness everywhere you went. It just gets worse and worse, doesn't it? Every little thing you learn gets worse and worse about his state. But I think if we realize that sin, leprosy is a picture of sin, we start to realize there's some strong connections here. And here's what I wrote it down kind of specifically because I think it's important. When we are in sin, if these leprous people got in more community and continued in it and grew, it could amplify. It could get worse. And when we sink and indulge into sin, it's the same thing. In the same way that leprosy numbed those people's sensitivity to anything, sin dulls our physicality to the point that things that should burn us or pain us, we don't feel anymore. How many of you in your life have felt numb to certain portions of sin? I know I have. I mean, we're all good-looking, well-dressed, put-together people this morning, right? Yeah. But sin numbs us physically. It makes us hate the things we should love. It's going to harm you socially. If you don't believe me, pick any addiction and pursue it. And watch how your circle will move away from you. Watch how people will go, that's a lot. I don't want to be near that. And it'll kill you spiritually. We always worry about the end root of sin being death. Well, it's multiple forms. Addictions can lead you into physical death, but it leads you into spiritual death. You can't feel the presence of God anymore. So my lovely pew-sitting congregation here, do you feel far from God? Where in your life are you finding yourself numb? And I'm a visual person. Anyone else a visual person? Josh, you want to come up here? Okay. I think sometimes in life, in this instance, I'll pick my favorite character because I want to act a little. Okay, is that fine? I'll be Jesus. No, you're good. No. Josh, you can be Josh. All right.
Josh, yeah, cool.
So this is the picture I want to cement in your minds. Josh is struggling with a sin. Okay, it's a little sin, just a little one. Right. We get the joke. And when we focus on that sin, we're spending time with Jesus. We can feel his presence. But then as we kind of look at that sin, we start thinking about that sin. And then as we kind of keep going, just a few more steps, we move, keep going. No, stay. But you're not looking at me, you're looking that way. And then we're good. Right about there, Josh. I like that. And we get far away from God. Can you feel my presence? I got a pretty long arm. I'm tall. No? Now, if Josh really drops into sin, he does something called closing his ears. So Josh, how would you close your ears over there? Now he's looking away, and this is the picture we get of sin, where we move towards something, and it can be small at first, and it steps and it steps and it steps away from us. Now here's the important picture. What does it take for Josh to come back to me, to come back to Jesus? He has to turn. But here's the difference. We think that Josh, man, I don't know what it was. It was alcohol, man. You were every night. It was all the time. You were showing up to work drunk. It was terrible. And put it into place. Whatever the sin is. Whatever the sin is. Now, how does Josh get back? Oh, he cleans himself up, right? You work on yourself. You figure yourself out. No. Turn back around, Josh, for me. Lost in sin, trying to figure it out. And the thing is, when we turn back to Jesus, go ahead, Josh, turn around. In repentance, this is where Jesus is standing. Amen. He's not over there. He's not saying, hey, can you fix yourself? You're a little dirty. Take a shower. Figure it out. And then you know what Jesus does when he's over here? He says, hey, I know you're struggling. I know you're repenting. Come on. Let's go back. No, this isn't worth it. This is worth it. Let's go here. Let's be... Do you see the difference in the picture? Love you, man.
Love you too.
Okay, thank you. Do you see the difference? Jesus didn't call us and expect us to make the way, to figure it out, to solve it. He came and put his arm on us, and he said, let's do it. Think about this man with leprosy. I want you to take comfort in this story, this historical event. Did you know that Jesus moves one direction, and it's not the band? He moves towards you. It's towards you, congregation. You can't descend enough that Jesus is not with you. We serve the omnipresent God, the God that is everywhere. And you know where that is? Right next to you in your sin. That's the God we serve. And I think we need to get past this idea of God doesn't want me if X, Y, or Z. When and how does God want you? Let me promise you something. It's not just right now. It's not when you're prettied up and you're in your church pew and you're feeling good. It's not just me when I'm preaching the word, when I'm standing up in front of you all. It's when you're halfway through the battle. When you're on your third bottle. When you're on the 10th page of that pornographic website. When you've yelled at your kids, your family, your wife. When you're so lost in your own self and you feel broken and hopeless and lost. That's when Jesus wants you. It's not when you're shiny. It's in the grit. He doesn't just want you now. He wants you now, but not just now. He wants you in the hardship. So why do we believe that we have to come to him and turn and work and figure it all out when he's there with us? Maybe it's just me. Is it just me that does that? I gotta suit myself up, figure it all out, check my list, do these right things. No, he's there for us. Jesus wants you. Full stop. So what should we do in response to this? Because if I tell you the greatest story ever told and I have all sorts of wonderful platitudes and then I send you on your way and you go, what was I supposed to learn? What's the point of it? Matthew 11:28. Take a drink here, I'm getting wild. Come to me, all of you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. I like it. It's a command. It's not a you can come to me. It's not like a here's an option. It's like, come on, this way, please. He wants us to come to him. And a sobering question for me that every time I preach to myself first, is am I moving towards Jesus as often as I'm moving towards my favorite TV show? Am I moving towards Jesus as much as I move towards my favorite hobby or my favorite friends? What is my focus? In this picture with Josh, where was he looking? He's looking at other things, finding other things. If we don't find our direction and our purpose looking at Jesus, we're going to be lost real fast. Come to me is his command. That's to step away from the world, to step away from the things that the world values. And this doesn't mean that every day all we do, all right, we're going to sit in our room and we're going to read our Bible and we're going to do nothing else. Because Jesus also made amazing commands like go into the nations and make disciples. He calls us to things. And it also doesn't mean that we're supposed to live in a hovel in the street and beg for change. There are things that we are supposed to be doing around this concept, but the beginning of it is come to me. Jesus is telling us, stop trying to do it the way the world does it. Stop self-medicating with your hobbies, with your addictions, with the things that you're like, if I just get this. How many of you have a just this? If I just get this, if I just do this, then I'm going to be ready. Then I'm going to be in that place. God, if you just give me this, then I'm ready to worship. Then I'm ready to turn over my life. Then never happens. So what's preventing you from turning over your life? What are you trusting in for joy that is bankrupt? What are those things? And it's fun. I'm a scientifically minded person. When you pursue something, the pursuit of something creates dopamine. And dopamine is the go get that chemical. It's the, oh, you like that, go get it. And it's interesting because dopamine doesn't feel good or bad. It just knows, like, your brain activated on that, go get it, go get it, go get it. And it happens when you scroll Facebook Reels. Every reel hits dopamine. But it doesn't do a complete cycle. It's a little scientific. Doesn't do a complete cycle, so it's null and void. It's bankrupt. And have you ever, okay, maybe this is a young generation thing. I'll hit other things too. How many of you have scrolled on a Facebook reel for, like, I don't know, an hour? And then you get done and you're like, what am I doing? And you can't say a single reel you've watched. It's because your brain is trying to say, hey, there's the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. And our brains work like that. What's the next thing in my life? What's the next? What about now? What's now? What has God given you here and now? And it's interesting because as we run into these mental things, we're trying to find rest for our souls, and all we find is endless pursuit. And pursuit is addictive. Have you ever gotten something that you really want something? Oh man, I really want this new car, this new game system, this new outfit, put it in the blank. And then you get it and you're like, all right. It's because pursuit is addictive. To chase something is addictive. And I don't want you to be in that state of, I gotta more. I need one more thing. This next thing is the thing. Because our minds don't work like that. Scientifically, biblically, it's not it. It's because we're trying to satisfy our souls with nothing. With the physical instead of the eternal. We take Jesus off the throne and we say, but if I put my wonderful family on the throne, they're gonna provide for me. If I put my church work on the throne, it's gonna do it for me. Are those bad things? No. See, I picked good things this time instead of just addictions, and because we want to think that addictions are the problem, we put them on the throne. But if you put your wife on the throne, she's a terrible God. She might be a great wife. I've got a great wife, but she's a terrible God. Through and through. And if she tries to put me on the throne, I'm a terrible God. I'm a worse God than she is, I'm pretty sure. And we do that. We think this is going to be the thing that fulfills me, and it's not right. And one quote from Matt Chandler that I really like is he says, I don't want Jesus to be my first priority. Yeah, I gotcha. Now you're listening. I want him to be the paper that my priorities are written on. I want him to be the foundation of everything and to be my everything. It's not like you check the Jesus box off first, you did it, now move on to the other things in your life. He is what you're writing everything on. He is the foundation of it all. I want to close with this. Are you believing lies? Take a second. What lies do you believe in your life? What lies do you struggle with? We all struggle with them. I mean, if you don't, please come talk to me after this sermon. I would love to know. Do you believe the lie that you're not enough? That you're not smart enough, you don't have the aptitude, you can't quite do that. I'd love to help with VBS, but I have trouble talking in front of people. I don't do well with kids. What's the not enough? Let me put your minds at ease. Have you met the disciples? Have we read about them? In college, one of my professors always used to call them the disciples. Because my goodness, it was right in front of them half the time, wasn't it? It was right there, and they're like, Jesus, these are some hard words. It's like, I told you the whole story and then I explained it. What do you mean they're hard words? We got the disciples in front of us and we're like, we're not enough. It's like, come on, you're there. And I always think about God rarely calls the equipped, but he always equips the called. God rarely calls the equipped, but he always equips the called. If he calls you to something, guess what? It's going to happen. He's going to do it. Because he doesn't leave things void or worthless. Are you believing that now that you're saved, you've checked all the boxes? Nice, I'm saved. Done. I did it. All right, now I just got to watch the clock. It's 5 o'clock. We get to check out here. Sweet. Have you stopped putting in effort into your salvation? Do you move towards Jesus on a daily basis? I'm not saying, do you study your Bible for 9 straight hours and it's all. Do you read your Bible? Do you pray? Confession moment. Until about a month ago, I had no structured daily prayer. Besides like, oh, thank you for this meal. Sometimes I'd be driving and someone would text me, hey, can you pray for this? Yeah, I'll pray for that. And you know what my daily prayer looks like right now? When I'm done with work, I come home, and before, I work in a steel warehouse, so I'm sweaty and I'm gross. And before I do anything, I kneel in my bedroom and I pray for 15 minutes. 15 minutes, okay? It's not some amazing number, but it's constant. And you know how you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? Might take 1,000 bites, but it's one bite at a time. If you try and be like, I'm going to do it, I'm going to pray for 2 hours every night, you're not going to do it. If you do, please tell me how. That's amazing. Your willpower is way above mine. But 15 minutes is like, what's 15 minutes? If I lose 15 minutes hanging out with people, okay, not a big deal. I spent 15 minutes with the Lord. Find those little things. Is all of your learning about God secondhand? Is this the only way you learn about God? Is our podcast the only way you learn about God? Or do you ever interact with the Word? I'm trying not to beat you up, but I want you to feel it. I want you to understand that Jesus doesn't say, come close to me, and then he's like, sweet, you sit there, I'll sit there, let's not talk. He wants that community. So you're saved. That's awesome. There's nothing greater. But what's next? What are we going to do with it? The next step is draw near to Jesus. Find a good way to do the next thing he's showing you. My morning prayer is, God, show me the next right thing. I don't need 100 steps. I need the next right thing. Just show me what it is. And oftentimes, it immediately clicks. Oh, that person I should be talking to. You're right. I've been trying to avoid that. Thank you for putting it in front. What's the next right thing? Make it a simple prayer. And I want you to look honestly at your life. What are the things that are taking you away from his presence? It could be sin. It could also just be laziness. Maybe you just spend way too much time watching TV or on your phone or playing games. Dial it back. If it's sin, kill it. How are you going to do that? Make logical step. Find people that will help you. You are not meant to do things alone. Christian church, you're not meant to do things alone. Okay, I'm not a raise your hand person. I'm going to stop that. I struggled with pornography for many years. And do you know what the deciding factor in moving past that was? 3 guys that I said, here's everything. This is when I struggled. This is how I struggled. This is what it looks like. This is this. They ask me questions. I give them the full information. I fight that sinful spirit in me to give them half-truths or hide little avenues. And it is the only thing that's ever impacted me truly. And they check in with me once a week. How you doing? What's going on in your life? How you thinking? How you feeling? And I check in with them. Do you have people that care enough to not always be nice to you? Sometimes these guys beat me up. Hey, dude, stop it. What are you doing? Oh, you thought you could just move that direction and it was going to be okay? You can't. Wake up. And that's what love looks like. Love isn't like, you're going to figure it out. No, love's like, maybe use your brain. Maybe let's cut this off. Let's figure out what it looks like. So who are the people in your life that are moving towards you in love and conviction? If you don't have them, look around you. Find them. And get past that, I don't know what they're going to think of me. Who cares what they think of you? There's an eternal judgment coming. You're standing as a holy one of God, and Satan is making you nothing. He's making you a couch potato in the faith. I want to exhort you this morning. I want to call you to one thing, the very last thing here. If you're living in sin or seeking only comfort, you're doing exactly what Satan wants you to do. I'm going to say it as straightforward as I can. If you're in a path of sin and you think it's hidden, or you are living in a way that's just lazy, you're doing nothing but comfort searching, you're doing exactly what Satan wants. What else could he want? Someone that's not following God, and I know I'm supposed to be right, and you're grappling with it the whole time. Or someone that's going, well, I'm saved, good enough. That's exactly what Satan wants. Why are we playing his hand for him? Why are we doing that? We're called to be warriors. We're called to act, to move. It's time to take steps towards the creator of the universe. He's already right there. So find your community. Find that core group of people. Be real and vulnerable, even if it terrifies you. Because it does. We all want to be perfect, and we're all awful. We're all in struggle. And then when you've done that, when you're creating that framework, be the light in your circle. You know, one of the reasons God is omnipresent is because you're in your community. When you're at I don't know, boxing class, God's there because you're there. When you're in spin class, when you're running, when you're walking trails, God's there because you're there. Pray for him to use you in every sphere you're in. Shine your light. Jesus is drawing near to you with arms wide open. You're not too far away. Come to him. Please pray with me. God, we thank you for all these opportunities you've created for us. God, that when we're lost in difficulty and struggle, you reach a hand out to us. That we're so coated in sin like that leprous man, you touch us and heal us. God, make that which is unclean in us clean. Heal us, Lord. Thank you for each one of these congregation members. Help them to draw near to you, to fight off comfort and laziness, and to strive for you, to kill the sin in their life, to be open and honest with the right people. Lord, it's in your presence and your grace that we can pray. Amen.